well-balanced mind is about really understanding your mind. Understanding your emotions, understanding everything about human behavior and how it can help you create a healthier and happier lifestyle. Everything starts with the mind, and what the mind affects can be changed.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Women have needs too. Right now, I need to mom like a boss. And today, we're here today with Whitney Gonzalez-Hartford, and she is momming it like a boss. Whitney, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored.
Oh gosh, you are such a dynamic woman, and we're going to talk about how you're momming it like a boss. But first of all, we're going to talk about how you became a mom. Now, we're not going there. Hold tight, everybody. Hold tight. We're not getting into that personal stuff, but you do have a unique story because you actually had a set of twins through in vitro fertilization, correct?
Yes, I did.
So let's talk about that
Absolutely.
process. Now, you had a baby before that, is that correct?
Yes, I have a 9-year-old now, and then I have 1-year-old twins.
2 1-year-old twins. That must keep you busy. I don't even know how you are doing anything else.
Well, it's all about keeping up with them and finding comfort in my chaos. So it's all about motivating myself to beat them and make sure that they're worn out by the time it's time for them to go to bed so I can get some sleep.
Isn't that the truth? Oh my gosh, and your sleep is treasured, I'm sure. So what made you
Absolutely.
decide to do the in vitro?
Well, we were going through, the process, and we hadn't conceived in about a year. And so I told my husband and I, let's go get tested just to make sure everything's fine. And we went and both got tested, and about a month in to the whole testing, they informed us that we were having fertility issues.
Oh,
And I don't really like to talk about it that much, but it's very important for people to know that whether it's the man or the female, that it happens all the time. And this specific circumstance, the fertility side was on my husband's side, but when you're the female, your body is relied on to go through the process. You have to get pregnant, you have to go through all the testing and everything. So whether it's the man or not, the woman has to fulfill a lot of duties with going through IVF.
it's true. And I heard recently that this is happening a lot more commonly than it used to happen. I don't know if it's the food we're eating or I know I've heard some people say, going organic and the chemicals that are in the food and the chicken and all that good stuff and you name it. I don't know what it is that's causing it, but I hear it's more and more, it's becoming more and more prevalent for people to conceive naturally, and it's crazy. So you went through the in vitro and you ended up with twins. So how was the whole process? Was it a pretty easy process for you?
No, it was not an easy process. Finding out that there's a fertility issue is extremely devastating,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength to be there, not only for yourself, but be there for your spouse. Because for your spouse to hear news, hey, we're suffering from through fertility, and then as the wife, the woman that has to carry the baby, to take on the courage to go through the process, you
Yeah.
have to really dig deep and be dedicated. And for me, it was easy to decide to do it because I knew I wanted to expand my family. But it wasn't easy once I got started actually going through the process, because it's very time consuming. It's very exhausting physically and mentally. You have so many appointments you have to go to before you can even start the process. I felt like I was a lab rat being tested. I was getting poked and prodded. They were taking my blood all the time. They were sticking ultrasounds up me. Um, they had to put dye through my fallopian tubes to make sure that my tubes were cleared up. As a female, you have to go through so much just to make sure your body is prepped for pregnancy through that process, that it really does wear on you emotionally, when you see your friends and all these other women just being able to conceive naturally.
Yeah, it's tough.
It was very, very tough.
Yeah.
Very, very tough.
And that's before you even get to the pregnancy part of it. You've got all that to go through. My son and his wife are unable to get pregnant, and they have chosen the route to adopt. So they've been going through the adoption process for, oh my gosh, it seems like forever. I think they're going on 2 years now. So, that's a process in itself as well. So how was the pregnancy?
Well, that was hard, because I was in bliss. I was so excited to find out that we were pregnant, but it was so draining because, yes, you get pregnant, but you still have to continue with your shots. You still have to. I had morning sickness. I was working full time. I was considered a high risk pregnancy because I was carrying twins, and I had to give myself shots through morning sickness, through starting a new job, just to maintain the pregnancy for 10 weeks. Like, can you imagine giving yourself shots 2 or 3 times a week just to maintain your pregnancy while you're throwing up in the morning?
And the shots are for what?
They're to maintain the pregnancy, so they're progesterone. So they got me pregnant through using hormones. They had to give me like certain pregnancy hormones to make my body be tricked to think that it's pregnant. And I had to do that before I got pregnant and to even maintain the pregnancy up for 10 weeks. They make you give yourself shots because that's the only way to make sure that the pregnancy is going to stay. Your body just doesn't say, oh, I'm pregnant when you've gone through IVF naturally and you stay pregnant. You have to make sure you're keeping yourself pregnant by keeping up with those hormones on a regular basis.
Right. I mean, so then you go through this for 9 months, and then you have the babies. And so would you say, and I'm saying this to say it, but I already know the answer, but was it all worth it?
Absolutely. 110%. I caution people because I want to tell them the truth. It's
Yeah.
painful. It will try your patience. It will try your emotions. It will try your relationship. But at the end of the day, my husband and I are closer now because we went through this journey.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely do it over again because we have these amazing twin babies that love us so much. They love their sister. They just love each
Aw.
other. I couldn't imagine my life without them.
That's great. So, I mean, hearing what you went through, before the pregnancy and through the pregnancy, I mean, is what kind of advice do you have for other women and other couples that are going through a similar situation and they choose, or maybe they're even debating, do I do in vitro? Do I not do in vitro? Do I go the rest of my life without having another child or a child to begin with? What makes this process easier, or how do you choose to do it or not?
I guess my best advice would be to do your research and have a support system. Be open with people. Don't be afraid of judgment. Don't be afraid to say, I'm going through this. You don't have to tell the whole world, but if you don't talk about it and let people know, let your family know you're going through this process so they can be your backbone, when you're going through the pain of it all, to tell you, hey, you're going to get through this. I could really advise you to utilize your resources, talk to your doctors, get all the information, and don't give up. Be realistic. If it's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars, you have to have a stopping point. And that's what happened for us. Actually, our last cycle was our last attempt. We were like, we're not going to go in debt because of this. We prayed about
How
it.
many times did you try?
We went through 2 cycles.
Ooh, that's
but
expensive.
I know people that it's very expensive. Yes, very, very expensive. So I would say give it all you got, pray about it, but also know that when you get to that point, there has to be an end road, because you can't keep trying IVF forever. You could end up $100,000 through the cycle, but give it all you can.
Yeah.
Follow the instructions for IVF to a T, and make sure you have your support system, because the 14 days while you're waiting to find out if you're pregnant are probably the hardest.
Right. And that's one of the things that my son and his wife debated. Do we do the in vitro, or do we go through the adoption process? And they decided, because of the uncertainty of whether it was going to happen or not, that they decided to invest in the adoption process as well, because they thought, you know what, I'm going to save a child as well. So
Right.
and so we're just, praying that it happens sooner than later, and we're looking forward to that. So now you're a mom of 3, and among that, 2 1-year-olds, and you are momming it like a boss. Share that with us, and what advice you have for doing, for momming it like a boss.
Well, before I do that, I want to say it's so great that your son and his wife are going through the adoption route, because there's so many kids that need to be saved. It's so, so, so important that if you can't go through the pregnancy route, save a kid's life. So that is absolutely amazing. But in terms of momming it like a boss, I was inspired because I had no choice but to step up to the plate. My husband's military, and we had to relocate, and I was kind of in this on my own. And I said, you know what, I need to inspire myself to inspire other women that when you have a baby, you go through pregnancy, no matter what milestones you go through during that growth period, that you can still be beautiful, that you can maintain your physical and mental health, and you can teach your children how to also do that as well. My kids watch me. They love seeing me work out. They love seeing me dance. It actually makes them really happy, and I'm also taking care of myself in the process. So that's kind of the reason why I started Momming It Like a Boss, because I see a lot of mothers out there that maybe struggle to keep the health, to find comfort in their chaos, and own the craziness around them, and know that, hey, you can still work. My kids are in the other room. They're bouncing around, and I'm here on a show with you guys. And you can make things possible if you put your mind to it and time block. And
it's so true. It's so true. You can go through the whole day cleaning up toys and cooking and not accomplish much else, or you can try to get it organized. And is that what you offer, like a support system, or how is this all organized? The Momming It Like a Boss, because are you making a business out of it, or is it something that you're just offering as support?
It's actually a business. I'm an accountability coach. I have 2 clients right now. I have a pregnant client and a postpartum. And so my goal through my coaching with my clients is to help them achieve healthy pregnancy, and through that transition with postpartum, to lose the baby weight without having that burden of going really hard in the gym or wearing themselves out. My goal is to teach them how to work out with their kid without being stressed out, how to breastfeed, fit in 20 minutes of working out and still have family time, and juggle all of that, because really momming it like a boss is a huge juggling act.
It's probably not only the most important job that you'll ever have in your life, but can be the most challenging as well, especially if you want to do it and keep your sanity. Is that right?
Absolutely. And the tips I give my ladies are things that they don't really think of, because they're in the middle of taking care of a baby, or they're in the middle of going through their pregnancy. And they're really simple tips, like wearing a waist trainer right after you give birth consistently.
Say that again, a waist trainer?
Yes,
I think I need
trainer.
one.
I wear them all the time.
How do I buy one? Where do I get it? You're teaching me things,
you can find
Whitney.
them online. On Amazon, online.
And
They're
it's
really
called
cheap.
a waist trainer?
A waist trainer. You're about to make me grab mine. I have a waist trainer. I was wearing it before the show. I walk around in it and it sculpts me, throughout the day. And you believe it or not, you burn calories and you're shaping your body
No
while you're
way.
wearing a waist trainer.
How long do
Yes,
you wear it for?
I mean, whenever it starts to get uncomfortable, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, but I change it up. Like I'll do maybe an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening, and I just walk around with it, or I'll just sit with it on, and it's keeping all my insides put together, and that's so important after you give birth because everything's been stretched out.
Yeah, and so what does it do? It does it train you to keep tuck your stomach in all the time, or is it just forming your organs to go back where they belong?
Well, it does a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Because when I eat, I notice if I have it on, I can't eat as much.
Oh.
So that's great. And it does keep your organs after having a baby. It does kind of help keep them in, but it really does, believe it or not, it sculpts your body to have that more hourglass figure. Because when you're walking and you're burning the calories, believe it or not, when you take it off, you're going to sweat a little bit on your sides. And so you'll
I
start losing
believe it.
inches from wearing it consistently.
Oh my gosh. So do you wear it when you go out, or you're just wearing it inside before you go out?
If I'm going to run a Goodwill and I have a t-shirt on, I'll wear it while I'm walking around at Goodwill to do my thrifting.
Oh, we're going
If
to
it's
talk about your Goodwill stuff.
and I'm excited about that. But if you're going to say you go to Publix and you're going grocery shopping and you're not dressed up, I would wear it there.
Yeah.
You're getting your steps in and you're shaping your body.
I wake up and I work out every morning. I walk and I exercise, either do yoga or stretch
So
class.
wear it when you're doing that.
So really, I mean, it's not going to make me sweat like a pig. I guess it will, but that's a good thing.
Well, it's going to make you sweat in the area you want to. It's going to make you sweat in your waistline. It's not going to make you sweat up on your head.
Right.
When you take that waist trainer off, you're going to see sweat all around your waistline.
Very interesting. I can't wait to buy one. So let's talk about your Goodwilling, because you are not only momming it like a boss, but you're making things happen, woman.
Slowly but surely, I love thrifting.
And you've made a business out of it, right?
Yes,
So,
I have a passion for fashion.
A passion for fashion. And so let's talk about your passion for fashion. So you like thrifting and I know it's for several reasons, but I'm going to let you share with the audience why you like thrifting.
Well, the main reason is because it saves the environment.
Yeah.
You are not out there shopping and just buying stuff. It's already used. And the thing is, when you're buying new stuff off a rack, it's already been worn. To me, it's already used. But the great thing is I get to save money. I'm a private thrifter, so I get to find really cool name brand designer items, jerseys, at low cost, and I get to resell them and help people so they're not paying retail price. And I was able to make a business out of it. And they're also able to have a product or have an outfit or some piece of attire that they like and they can afford. So for me, I felt really good starting the vintage business because it has so many benefits to it, and I get to find stuff for myself like this hat.
I love that hat. I don't wear hats a lot, but I have a lot of hats. Does that make sense? Because I love them so much, but when I put them on, I'm like, it doesn't look right. I probably need you to teach me what hats I should buy for myself. But I want to start a vintage line in my apparel line, and I've actually started, before we even started talking, and learning about your business, I thought, I want some jean jackets and some jeans, and put my logo on it. So I'm going to start introducing that in the line really, really soon. So I'm excited about that too, because I think jean jackets are really cool, and I like the whole idea of reusing, recycling, and upcycling, and redesigning, and doing some fun stuff. So I love that. And you introduced me to something, and the thing is that you weren't the only one that introduced me, but you really taught me a lot about this networking engine that you belong to called Clubhouse, and I am just enthralled with Clubhouse. Tell us about it.
I mean, I'm just as enthralled as you are because when I got on it, I realized how much opportunity there is to gain your following of right people. You know, the content that you're putting out there, it's going to be seen by millions, thousands of people, but are you really um, finding your niche and directing that content towards the people that need that information or that are looking for your services? So the great thing about Clubhouse is you can go on there and pick exactly what you're interested in. If you're interested in being an entrepreneur or fashion, you can go ahead and select your interest, and based upon that, you're going to be attracting those groups of people. So
I
that right
love it.
there was a no-brainer for me.
I
And
love it.
then being able to have your own rooms without having to, do videos and stuff like that. See, I'm momming it like a boss. I can go on Clubhouse, talk to ladies about how to be better versions of themselves through motherhood without, having my kids on there. It's super huge inconvenience when you have to be on video sometimes because you got to time block and schedule. So Clubhouse is just another platform to where people can directly go to your Instagram and follow you just like that. We've had 100 people in some of the rooms, and just because I have the confidence to speak about what I do, I've gained 30 followers. I have over 100 200 followers I gained in like 2 weeks just by going on there and telling people this is what I do.
That's
And we've helped
crazy.
people too.
Well, we're going to have you back on so we can talk about specifics of Clubhouse and how people can, get involved with it and how it will benefit them. But I just love what you do, and I love momming it like a boss. It's such a great, thing that you're doing and helping other women going through what you've been going through, and helping them, mom like a boss. And I just love it, Whitney. And how do people get a hold of you?
Thank you. They can get a hold of me through Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse. Um, that's the best way to really get through to me. Or they can find me on email, but I think social sites are probably the easiest direct contact.
All right,
That
so
way they can.
yeah, tell them exactly what to look for you on Facebook and Clubhouse and LinkedIn and all that.
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at Momming It Like a Boss on Instagram and Facebook. It's Momming It Like a Boss. And Clubhouse, it's Mom It Like a Boss because I guess the name was so long, so I had to shorten it a little bit.
Okay.
LinkedIn is just Whitney Hartford. Those are probably my main sites of resources to contact me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you being on here today. And I know the audience is just eating you up. And that hat, it's a great hat.
No,
But
I'm grateful to be on here. Thank you.
oh, so good. I can't wait to meet you in person one day, and that's going to happen soon, I hope. But thank you everyone for joining us today on Women Have Needs To. Women have needs to. Right now, I need to mom it like a boss with Whitney. So take care and have a great day. Thanks, everyone.